Good morning. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora which is my people. It was another beautiful day for a protest and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you, the front of my side says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's fee. And the reverse of my sign said, white man, why have you enslaved the African American, the Latinos, etc.? It was another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. There is nothing particularly interesting that I should bring to your attention as it relates to my protest. And as you know, when I have protested and when I have updated you as to what transpired when I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring to you something from the word of the Most High God. As you already know that we are still in the book of Revelation. And we are in Revelation chapter 13. And we have uncovered many wonderful truths in that passage of scriptures. Now, we have discovered that Satan and the Caucasians has a very intertwined relationship. And their relationship is so magnificent that Satan decided that he is going to relinquish all of those powers and qualities that made him powerful. And he was going to relinquish those qualities to none other but the Caucasian nation. And I know a lot of you would be asking to yourself, why not the Chinese? Why not the Asians, the Indians, the Polynesians, the Arawakis, the Arabs? Why the Caucasians? And that is what we are here to discuss this morning. Why Satan chose to relinquish those qualities to the Caucasian nation. I would like for you to ask yourself this simple question. If you had some very unique qualities and skills, or if you had some valuable prized possessions, and you were to part with those possessions, or you were to train someone, imparting upon them the valuable skills that you possess, who would be the first person you choose to give your possessions to or to impart your knowledge and skills to? It would be someone who is there and very close to you. So when Satan relinquished his power, his seat, and his great authority, and he relinquished them to the Caucasian nation, what he was doing, he was giving his prized possession as an inheritance to the people who were closest to him, those people who carried his traits, his genetics, his dreams, and his personality. Now, some of you who are thinking are clearly asking yourself, is the chief trying to say that Satan and the Caucasian nation are genetically intertwined? Yes, that is exactly what I am saying, and I am going to prove it to you from the scriptures. The word of the Most High God says, let God be true and every man a liar. If it is written in the scriptures and you can interpret it, then it have to be true. And I have shown you in the studies before the correlation between Satan relinquishing his power, his seat, and his great authority to the Caucasians, and how it affects the Caucasians and how it impacts on the other nation on the earth. And we have all concluded that that part of the scripture is true. So now, let me enlighten you and inform you and make the connection, the genetic connection between Satan and the Caucasians. In order for us to make that connection, we have to go way, way back in time into the book of Genesis, the book of the beginning. And we are going to start with Genesis chapter 3, verses 15. Before we get to Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, let me take this opportunity to lay the foundation for you so you can understand what is happening in this passage of scripture. Now, the Most High God have created the earth and all of the things within the earth. He also created man, and he gave man dominion over all things. However, upon the earth, Satan resided in the tree of the good knowledge of good and evil, which was in the midst of the garden, along with all of those beings that was cast out of heaven with him. That was their prison. The Most High God instructed Adam that he must not to eat from the tree or touch the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden. And Adam instructed his wife as the Most High God instructed him. However, Eve was manipulated by Satan, and she ate of the tree and took it back to her husband, and her husband also ate of the tree. This resulted in them becoming a castaway. They broke that perfect relationship they had with their Creator, and now they were kicked out of the garden, and they were now in trouble of even losing their lives, and a great possibility of being cast into hellfire with Satan and his angels. So when the Most High God came down to visit Adam in the cool of the day, as he normally did, he could not find Adam in the normal place. And he asked Adam, "Where are you?" And Adam said, "Listen to me. I saw you coming and I hid because I was naked." The Most High God got down to the bottom of the events that occurred in the garden, and he discovered, which he knew before, but he discovered from Adam that his wife ate of the tree on the instructions of the devil, and he also ate. So here we arrived at Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, where the Most High God himself was speaking to Satan, and he was pronouncing a judgment upon Satan. And this is what he said to Satan: "I'll put enmity, I'll put hostility between you and the woman, and between your seeds and her seeds." So there'll be hostility between Satan and the woman, and there'll be hostility between Satan's seed and the woman's seed. A very important question we must answer here is, who is this woman the Most High God was speaking about? If we go to Revelation chapter 12, verse 1, the Most High God mentioned there the first wonder, great wonder in heaven. And John saw this woman who was clothed with the sun, had the moon under her feet, and upon her head she wore a crown with 12 stars. And this woman was the nation of Israel. So the Most High is telling Satan that he is going to put hostility between him, Satan, and the nation of Israel, and between the Israelite seeds and Satan's seed. But we are here to find out what is the relationship between the Caucasians and Satan. So in this very first prophecy, we see that Satan was going to have children on the earth. Seeds, children. You see, the devil knew he was going to have children on the earth, but he wanted to have children on his own terms. So if we go to Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 to 4, a small narrative is there that said that the angels of heaven saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they went down and they took wife of them. And they procreated, and they produced giants. If you go to the book of Enoch, chapter 7, 8, 9, and 10, it will give you a detailed outline as to what happened in this passage of scriptures as is preceded in Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 to 4. The Most High God is not going to allow Satan to do things as he wishes, as he wants to. The Most High God is the one who directs and controls all of the affairs of this earth. He is the one who directs and controls all of the affairs of man, no one else. And according to the book of Enoch, chapter 10, the Most High God dispatched the angel Gabriel, and he sent Gabriel to cause confusion among the giants that roamed the earth and was devouring every living creature they can get their hands on. And so Gabriel put confusion against them, among them, and they killed each other. The Most High also dispatched the angel Michael to take care of those angels that lie with women and produce these reprobates upon the earth, because Satan was not going to have his own way. Now, let us go to Genesis chapter 25. In Genesis chapter 25, verse 21, Isaac's wife Rebecca got pregnant. Her pregnancy was the worst thing that ever was recorded in history of a woman becoming pregnant. She had twins in her womb, and those twins began to fight from the day they entered into the womb, and her pregnancy was a tumultuous pregnancy. Rebecca went to the Most High God and asked the Most High God, why is her pregnancy so rough? And the Most High God said to her, there are two nations within your womb. What the Most High God was saying is that, Rebecca, you're pregnant. And you're pregnant with twins. And those twins has two different fathers. But the problem here was, Rebecca was married to Isaac. And Isaac was the only man she knew. So how can she have two children in a pregnancy and both of them have different fathers? Let us not forget that when that Jacob had 12 sons by 4 different women, and they were one nation. But here we see Isaac's wife Rebecca was pregnant, and she had twins, and those twins represented 2 different nations. In Genesis chapter 25, verse 25, Rebecca gave birth to her first son, which was Esau. And they found it important to give a description of Esau. And the description that they gave of Esau was, he was red all over and hairy like a cloak. This is a description of the very first Caucasians that was born into the world. And these Caucasians look like the children of the offspring of the angels of heaven. And let me prove it to you. Let us go to the book of Enoch, chapter 125, and we are going to deal with verse 1 to 4. In chapter 125 of the book of Enoch, between verse 1 and 4, a story is told here of Methuselah's son Lamech taking a wife. And his wife became pregnant with Noah. And when Noah born, as soon as Lamech saw his son Noah, Lamech became afraid of his son, and he ran away to his father's Methuselah and explained to Methuselah what had happened. He told his father that he had begotten a man-child, and this man-child is not human, because the man-child looked like the offspring of the angels of heaven. Why did he say the man-child that his wife begot looked like the offspring of the angels of heaven? And we must not forget that this offspring we are speaking about is the great Noah. Lamech informed his father that his offspring's skin was as white as snow and was as red as a rose. He had long woolly hair, and he had eyes that was pretty. That means it was either blue or green or one of those abnormal colors. I remember when I first read this, I was confused, because how can someone have skin that is as white as snow and also as red as a rose? And then one day, I was standing where I normally protest, and I saw a Caucasian man come by, and his face was white as snow. And when he twisted his neck, there were creases on his neck that were as red as blood. And then I was able to put things together and understood what Lamech meant when he described his son Noah to his father Methuselah. If Noah was an albino and he looked like the offspring of the fallen angels, because the only angels they were exposed to were those angels who manifested themselves and took women, married those women, and begot the giants. And it was the giants that Noah looked like because he had no melanin. He had long white hair and he had beautiful eyes. So what you see here, the boat of Esau is reflecting a similar thing that happened in the history of man, where Esau now looks like Noah, and therefore Esau is the offspring of the fallen angels, a man without melanin. In Malachi chapter 1, verse 2 to 4, the Most High God says he hates Esau. The Most High God declared his hatred for Esau, and he said he will hate the Edomites forever. In that passage of scriptures, he used the word indignation. Indignation means anger. And if you are going to be angry with someone forever, it means that you hate them, because anger is short-term hatred. If you remember closely, in Revelation chapter 13, verse 1, we see the beast, which is the Caucasian nation, had 7 heads, 10 horns, and 10 crowns upon the horns. And in Revelation chapter 12, we see the devil appeared there, and he had 7 heads, 10 horns, but he had 7 crowns upon the horns. They look alike, but their adornment is different, in the same way that Esau looked like the offsprings of the fallen angels. The Son of Man, the Son of God, told us the same story in details, but we missed it. The Son of Man told us the same story in detail, but we missed it, because the Caucasians had dispatched their ministers of religion, of every religion, and they taught us how to think as the Caucasians wants us to think, and miss the lessons we are supposed to get from the scriptures, even in the Bible. Now I can hear you speaking. You say, in truth, the Son of Man never dealt with the Caucasians coming on stream. I am telling you that the Son of God, the Son of Man, Yahawasha, dealt with it. Do you remember that parable with the wheat and the tares? What is a parable? A parable is an earthly story with a heavenly meaning, right? We have been given the earthly meaning to the parable of the wheat and the tares. Never have we been given the heavenly meaning of that parable. Let me take this opportunity to climax this study by giving you the heavenly meaning of the parable of the wheat and the tares. The parable of the wheat and the tares is found in Matthew chapter 13. In a nutshell, this is what it says: that a husbandman planted good seed in his field, and when they were all asleep, an enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. And when those plants were mature, the servant went into the field and he saw that there were tares among the wheat. He went back to his master and he said, "Master, didn't we sow good seed in the field? How is it there is no tares among the wheat?" The master said, "An enemy have did this." Now, let me give you an opportunity to marinate on this for a little while. An enemy had did this. When the Son of the Most High God gave the explanation to this parable, what did he say? He said the field represents the world. The good farmer represents the Son of Man. The enemy represents the devil. The wheat, which is productive, represents the children of the kingdom. And the tares represents the children of the wicked one. Then he further said, when we were asleep, the enemy came and sowed the tares among the wheat. And he said, the wheat and the tares will have to go together until the day of harvest. The Son of the Most High God was saying that Rebekah's womb is the field. When Rebekah was asleep, the devil came and violated her and planted a seed, a fertilized egg, in her womb. And those two seeds, the wheat and the tares, the Israelite and the Edomites, the children of slaves and the Caucasians, had to grow in Rebekah's womb together. They were fighting every day, but had to grow until the time of maturity. And it's at the time of maturity that Rebekah gave birth, and out came two children, the son of Isaac, the son of God, and the son of Satan, the Edomites and the Israelites, the children of slaves and the Caucasians. Some of you are asking, how can you conclude that Esau is a false Caucasian? Let us go to the publication of the Caucasians, because they have stole the history and the documentation of every nation in the world and have them in their possession. In the Encyclopedia Britannica, it says that King Herod, who was a Caucasian, a Roman, was an Edomite. Another documentation of the Caucasians, the Jews, in their publication that is called Chabad.org, in discussing 14 facts you must know about Esau. Fact number 12 says that Esau is the progenitor of the Romans, and they accredited the Duke Magdiel, which is found in Genesis chapter 30, as being the progenitor of the Romans. And we know the Greeks and the Romans are tightly related, and every other Caucasian nation came about only after Rome became fractured. It was from the fracturing of Rome that you see all of the other Caucasian nations in Europe coming on scream. But before the fracture of Rome, Rome was the focal point of the Caucasian nation. The father of the Edomites is Magdiel. The father of the modern day Edomites is Magdiel. Magdiel is one of the 12 duke of Esau. Like Jacob had 12 tribes, Magdiel had 11 dukes. Like this video, share this video. Leave your comment on this video. Let me know what are your thoughts about the information that was presented in this video. Like or share, like or subscribe from wherever you are looking at. And remember, there are many more videos like this right here. Go down, peruse them, and let me know what are your thoughts. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I'm the diaspora machismo. I'll talk to you on Monday.